I've always thought I'd be a good spy.
Have you?
Yes, I see things. I'm good in the darkness and in the background. I'm quiet. I'm unassuming.
Keep going.
No, that's about it. Hello and welcome to another episode of Mildly Informed with me, Richie Firth, and him, Chris Skinner. I hope this episode has just started and I haven't been stitched up by some irritating twerp who was waiting for me for probably no longer than 30 seconds.
None of that is going to make the edit, Rich. It's an evening record. It started how evening records always go with us. Complete shambles.
That was my evening record klaxon.
It was really? A klaxon, or was it like a bird call?
It was more bird call than klaxon. Fair point.
But either way, it's your birthday tomorrow. Chaos. There's a police helicopter flying above me that way. Chaos. There's a freight train going past me that way. Chaos. Everything is happening. Rich, may I prematurely offer you a happy birthday?
Well, let's hope I make it through the night. But Chris, thank you very much. Thank you to you and no doubt all our listeners who will get in touch on hearing that information.
Some listeners have got in touch with comments regarding a recent episode where I commented on my Blackwall Tunnel parking fine, which I've subsequently appealed, not parking fine, fine for non-payment of alleged tolls. And someone shared with me a freedom of information request about supposed signage for said tolls. Rich, it's pathetic. There are some signs. They are tiny. They are sort of stuck to some lampposts, and they've got the C, like the C that you're used to seeing for the congestion zone.
Yeah.
None of them, unless you literally happen to be paused at a stop on a busy A road in front of them and are able to read the small print, does it say, P.S. Blackwall Tunnel. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, Rich. I'm not going to let it go.
I hope you're going to pursue this. I was thinking more about it after last week's episode, and it reminded me of, on the M25, there are those variable speed limit things.
Yep.
Now, actually, they're on a lot more motorways now anyway. But when they first got put up, there's cameras behind every single one. And their idea was that every single one of those variable speed limit gantries would be acting as speed cameras. But what they then didn't realise was that the size of the speed limit that would come up on those things wasn't big enough to meet the requirements for them to be safety camera kind of things. And so every single one of those is defunct. The only one of those ones that will catch you speeding on the M25 is the traditional yellow box by the side of the road. None of those gantries will catch you.
I don't know why they try to get so clever and sneaky about it. If you want to introduce fines, tolls, etc., stick a massive sign up and let people know. Please. Look, that's not what we're here for. I feel like we're already sullying your birthday episode. It's also our 50th episode of the show.
Oh, well, Chris, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, which means that we have now reviewed, by the end of this show, including the Patreon episode, around 300 things.
That's incredible. I really do hope that the audience today, they're going to be wishing me happy birthday. But to be quite frank, they should be saying thank you, because we have mildly informed them about 300 things that they didn't know about, weren't aware of, and now can lead their life more informed.
Well, we're counting down to 300 by the end of today's Patreon episode, which, spoiler alert, it's about things you might get up to online. Oh, misses. But let's start with, is it 295? 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Review yes. 295, Rich, please. We're great at maths.
Chris, this week I've been on a secret mission and it has been absolutely fantastic.
A personal secret mission, a work secret mission, weird hobby?
No. Let me explain. I, every day when I commute, buy a paper ticket, a travel card from my local train station. I've been doing that for probably a good 3 years. When I realised that for me, because I travel off peak, it's cheaper to buy a paper travel card than use the popular London Oyster card system, because I can do that and get the third off that my Network Rail card brings me. So I don't do any touching in and out with Oyster or contactless. Paper rules for me.
It seems ridiculous that can be the case in this day and age for something that is surely costing whoever is in charge of dishing out those tickets. It's costing them more to do it like that.
No, TfL don't want you to know about it. They don't shout about it, do they?
Wow.
That's why also they don't rush to fix any of the gates where the paper ticket doesn't go through, because they don't want to make it easier for you, because if you're smart about it, it's cheaper. Anyway, that's not what we're here about. About a fortnight ago, I would get into London at Liverpool Street, or I'd sometimes get off at Tottenham Hale, and my ticket wouldn't work. It would just say seek assistance. And I'd have to go up to the attendant. They'd let me through because there was nothing physically wrong with the ticket, and then I'm away. Then I would then try and get into the tube at the same station, seek assistance. And when you've paid for a paper travel card for the whole day, to have to seek assistance at every single ruddy gate, very, very annoying. I kind of thought to myself, oh, well, I've got a hooky card today. Maybe I left it too close to my mobile phone or something or other. The next day, same thing happened again. And then the third day running. And now I'm thinking to myself, this is really annoying. I buy at the same time every day at the same train station. There's only about like 3 different members of staff. It's a quiet little train station. We chat every day. One of them's an Arsenal fan. One of them's a really lovely lady. She always chats. I know them all by name. And I said to Julie, I said, what's going on with these tickets? The last 3 days, none of them work at any single gate. And she went, is it the same for you as well, is it? I've had a couple of my customers say this. I swear it's since they've done an update on my computer. I'm so glad you've mentioned. Point number 1, you should always say something, because otherwise people don't know. So she was so happy that I'd mentioned. But this member of staff, so conscientious, she's like, I knew there was a problem. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I've raised it and they're looking into it, and there's all sorts of different things. She said, I know this is going to be a pain for you, but would you still keep buying the paper tickets and report back to me every single day?
Wow.
So that I know? She said, because I know when they've done a software update, or I know when they've come and done something. So if I can depend on you to report back to me every other day, then maybe we can get this fixed quicker. Anyway, yesterday I went in and Julie's like, it's a historic day. I think they fixed the travel cards. I was like, this is amazing. Issued me my travel card, but gave me strict instructions to come back the next morning, because she wasn't going to know for truth whether it had been fixed until I returned the next day to buy my travel card. I've been on a secret mission, Richie Firth versus TfL and National Rail, and it has felt fantastic.
I've got a bunch of thoughts on this. One, for the first time ever, it appears that you are genuinely travel hacking. After all those years of shows that we did, you're finally
I remember
on
them 50 years ago, 50 episodes ago.
Yep. Secondarily, are you telling me that a simple Windows update could bring down the entire travel card system?
Yes.
That is ludicrous. You cannot have one update destroying it, because if it just happened locally to her, it can happen across an entire network, and that seems way too easy to break everything.
You've got to remember that they want everybody to be using contactless cards or Oyster cards. They don't want us to be buying these paper tickets.
No.
So those paper tickets with the little magnetic
cucks.
Yeah. those with the magnetic strips on the back. That's old renegade technology. And I wouldn't mind betting that you're quite right. It's still running on some kind of like Windows 95 technology.
Wow. What next? I'll try and convince you that man really landed on the moon. JFK's alive, man.
I'm not sure about that. If we'd landed on the moon, they would have landed the last time they went up a few weeks ago. Anyway, by the by, Chris, Secret Missions is a 5-star review. It is 5-star review. I just felt so important, so empowered, and I actually feel like I've done good work for once.
Are you going to tell Julie tomorrow morning then?
Can't wait. Cannot wait. And she's going to be delighted.
Oh, I'm very excited for you. Congratulations. Thoroughly deserving of a 5-star review. I know I'll never get up to something like that because I tend to try to avoid talking to people.
But I think you would be a good covert operator because that's what the essence of this is.
Yeah.
I've always thought I'd be a good spy.
Have you?
Yes, I see things. I'm good in the darkness and in the background. I'm quiet. I'm unassuming.
Keep going.
No, that's about it.
It would be a short Bond movie.
It would be really easy for you to just say that. I'd like you to qualify why you think I'd be a bad spy.
Okay, so scene 1, yeah, you've seen something.
Mm-hmm.
Then a guy's come at you with a gun and an axe and he's muscly.
But that's not going to be the case. That's what happens
You finish your martini off and then you run out the doors.
You are basing all this on movies. That's not what the life of a spy is all about.
What is the life of a spy about?
Sitting in a Ford Mondeo outside a laundrette on a stakeout for like 10 days and all that kind of stuff, making notes.
I take it all back. You'd be an excellent spy.
Thank you very much. Chris, what's been going on in your life this week?
We record this on a Thursday evening, one of my favourite days of the year. It's not of the year. It's something that sometimes only happens every few years. In the UK, in my part of the UK, it's an election day. In this case, it's a local council and mayoral election day in the London borough of Hackney. Rich, I was born in May 79. I was 2 weeks too young for the Blair election of 97, the incredibly exciting year where being young and being a part of that for most of my class at school felt like almost like a revolutionary act. It felt all we'd ever known was one type of government, and it just seemed so exciting, and I was so frustrated that I missed out. And I have never missed a national, local, European by-election ever since. I have voted every time someone has needed me to vote. I even voted in my student elections when about 40 students did, yeah. And I find it a real privilege. I was so excited. I got down there as soon as I dropped Polly off at school. I said hello to the person from the Greens and the person from the Labour Party out the front. Funnily, it's Hackney. There was no one from Reform there. And they want to know my polling number. I didn't tell them a single thing. I chatted away to the people in the polling booth. It was like, it was electoral Christmas. And I put my yellow ballot in one box and my pink ballot in another box. And I walked out feeling that I had genuinely played my role in democracy. Now, of course, the way elections always work is that in 24 hours' time, when the results are out, I might feel absolutely terrible about the state of the country and it's all gone to hell in a handcart and all that. But for this 24-hour period, Rich, democracy is in my hands. Now, it's special. And I was talking to people at work about this, and this is what I want to review. People are still very blasé about voting. You know, in this local election, I was at about 40% of the eligible adults will vote. In a general election in the UK, in the early 60s, maybe 65% of the eligible adults vote. It is only just over. People talk about universal women's suffrage, like that was so long and so hard fought and came so late. Yeah, 1928. So almost 100 years. But even for men, even for everyday men, universal male suffrage is only just over 100 years old. It's not like your everyday common man had the vote for hundreds of years before women did. It was only 10 years themselves on the whole. And that was part of a 50-year campaign where, for most of British history, it's been a bunch of posh guys in their county seats or their city seats being allowed to vote, and sometimes being allowed to vote more than once because they had multiple properties. For most men and women in the world, in the UK rather, we have almost never been allowed to vote. And so I see it as such a privilege and such a joy seeing all these people participating. And someone at work today said they weren't going to vote. And I had to keep quiet. I had to shut up. And I had to say, and the rant that I just went on about universal male and universal female suffrage and about how hard men and women fought for the vote, I had to push it down. Because it's only work. And they're a really nice person. But fucking hell, come on, lads. This is it. Don't be part of those people who don't bother turning up to vote. Your ancestors died for this. And I was feeling really, really good about this as a subject. And then I thought, just before the show started, I reckon Rich doesn't vote.
I haven't voted today.
Oh, there we go. But did you have an election?
No.
There we go. Fine.
Slight technicality. I've not had anything to vote in today. I don't understand. Can you might have the answer to this because you're very passionate about it. And by the way, if I had the option to vote today, I would have voted.
Good.
I agree with everything that you've said. I don't understand why some places get the chance to vote for a council election today and I didn't. I know there's plenty of other places that don't have a council election today. What do they do? Do they sort of like flip them every couple of years? Some have a council election, some don't. What's the deal?
No, it's deliberately staggered, and I think it's a logistics and admin thing. I just think it's if you think a national election is one thing to manage, but I just think it is too complicated a job on the same day to have the entire country voting in and out its entire councils and mayors and other regional seats.
Right.
I think it's so. I believe they all sit for the same amount of time, but they're all it's deliberately staggered. It's two or three groups, so it's not a great conspiracy. There are not some people who sit for shorter terms than others. I think it's purely admin.
Right.
Fair enough.
Why do you think, my next question, that we still have to go to a polling booth with a pencil when, like, if you're watching I'm a Celebrity, you can vote on an app?
It's a fair question. I'm not wedded to... I did feel special turning up and voting. I did feel special. But I have to personally say, if the amount of people who vote in the general election went from 65 to 95% because they could just vote on their phone, I'd be for it.
That would be my next point. I don't know exactly what the percentages would be, but I think if you watch I'm a Celebrity or any of those kind of programs and you're looking at, some big viewing figures, I'd say most of those people will be voting. They'll have downloaded the app and voted.
Do you reckon Jimmy Bullard will get voted onto a local council in today's election?
Unlikely, but I reckon I would know what party that he would be representing. We don't need to necessarily go there on this podcast.
No. I love voting, Rich. It feels so special. I feel so honoured and privileged. Most of the world can't vote still. If you add up most grown adults across this planet, the right to vote in free and fair election is not theirs. So it's a privilege.
And the other thing about it is we are a nation that loves to moan, but you have no right to moan if you didn't place a vote, in my opinion.
5 stars, mate. And I reserve the right when I see awful people get voted in 24 hours' time to change my vote. Unlike in an election.
Adverts.
I liked those adverts, but not as much as review 297 in the history of this show.
Chris, are you a fan of Narcos? Have you seen Narcos?
Yes. And
I
there was
love
a spin-off
Narcos
as well, which I saw. Was it Narcos Mexico?
There was Narcos Mexico as well. I think the original was the best. But quite sometimes you think to yourself flippantly, I wonder what a British Narcos would be like. Because, of course, the original Narcos was set, Colombia, Miami. That's where it all started. Pablo Escobar and all that kind of stuff. I put it to you that you can scratch that itch now because there is a new show on Netflix. It's not called Narcos, but in my opinion, it is the British version, and it is called Legends. It's fantastic. It stars Steve Coogan, and it is based on a real story that I didn't really know about. And I think that's one of the best type of TV shows, is where it's based on a true story and you're almost sort of being entertained and informed at the same time. It's kind of set in the 90s when drugs were becoming a massive problem for the Conservative government of the time. But they did not have the money that they had in the States to have like an organisation like the DEA and all that kind of stuff. And they needed some good news because things were going pretty shite for the Tories at the time. So they used customs officers to basically wage a war on drugs, but got a unit together of like about 5 customs officers going undercover in Liverpool and London to try and break the drug infiltration in the UK. And this is a true story. It's so British. Everything about it is so British. Other places chuck a load of money at it. Here in the UK, unit of 5, go undercover, operate out of a warehouse. It is so British. Steve Coogan's amazing in it. I urge you to watch. I would immediately give it a 5-star review.
I'm well up for it. Sorry, what channel did you say it's on?
It's on Netflix.
I'm watching Beef at the moment on Netflix, but I promise I'll finish Beef and then I'll do Legends.
The great thing about it is it's set in that time where, 90s, they're driving around in Vauxhall Cavaliers and Ford Sierras.
All great cop shows have a great car.
Yeah.
A Cavalier.
Yeah. Ford Sierras, Cavaliers, Volkswagen Golfs. It's just of the time, and it's brilliant. It's so good, and like I say, based on a true story. So many of my favorite films and drama series are set in reality. Narcos, obviously based on true story. One of my favorite films, Argo, based on an incredible story about the American embassy in Tehran back in the 70s and trying to get out. You must have seen Argo with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, years ago, yeah. Yeah, it's really old, isn't it?
So good. So good. It's not that old now. I would say depressingly, it's probably about 20 years old maybe. But there you go. Got an Oscar. Drama based in reality, and in this case, Legends specifically, 5-star review from me.
Great. Can I add, if you haven't already seen it, The Gold as a recommendation too?
I've not seen The Gold. Don't even know what it's about. Does it fit my brief?
It's BBC based on the Brinksmat case.
Wow.
And set in the 80s and 90s between the UK and the Canary Islands. Really good.
Oh, that's brilliant. Brinksmat, Heathrow Airport.
Was it Heathrow Airport, Brinksmat? It might have been. I just remember them having a lorry full of gold. I can't remember where they got it from. It's like the first episode. As
we approach the 300th review, I feel like there's been some high-grade reviews so far today.
We're in a good mood.
Chris, we are in a good mood. I wonder whether you'll keep it up.
Nope. I want to review. Okay, let's give some context here. The specific situation I'm in right now is a dear colleague is leaving work. What do you do when someone is leaving work on amicable terms? What do you tend to do on their last day in the office?
Oh, drinks.
Yeah, you put on some drinks. You want to throw a little bit of a party. Maybe there'll be a reception before. Who knows? I cannot believe trying to book a room in a pub, how expensive pubs are to try and book a room in a pub for drinks.
Right. I wouldn't even know where to start on this. So give me the parameters of the size of the room, the facilities available, the length of time you're having it, and I'll put a price on what I would pay.
Up to 50 people, couple of hours, maybe 3 hours, the room above a pub on a Thursday evening.
Is there a separate bar in the room?
I think so, but I don't know.
Okay. 50 people. They're all going to be spending at least a tenner. So that's £500.
Guaranteed money for the pub straight away.
Guaranteed money for the pub. £500. I would expect 50 quid.
50 quid, yeah. You know what, actually, so I was expecting somewhere in the 150 quid.
Okay,
so something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
We called up one pub around the corner, nice pub, like it. Gave them the rough details that I gave you there. They said, sure, we can do that. We've got a room above the pub. That'd be 1,500 quid.
What?
Yeah. And that was our response. And we said no. And then went, there's this other nice pub around the corner. We called them up, gave them the same parameters. They went, yeah, we can do that. £2,000.
What?
Yep. And then, this is why it's just so random. So we've been quoted 1,500 quid and £2,000. We then called another pub that's just as nice as the other ones. Nice upstairs room. There is no difference fundamentally between these three pubs. Called this third pub up, gave them the parameters. They went, yep, we can do that. 250 quid. I'm like, who is working this out? How is this happening?
Now, off the top of my head, it just sounds like the first two pubs don't want your business and have said a ridiculous figure so that if you did end up paying it, they're like, well, this is a pain, but that's good money. We'll do it anyway. But why would you not want to do it? Because if you've got all those people coming, and it's great money. That's really weird.
It does feel like it, that they don't want us to come.
Yeah.
And you said 50 odd people spending a tenner. I mean, the price of drinks these days is probably nearer 15, 20 quid. I actually think they'd be doing 750, £1,000 straight away. And so we've booked the 250 quid one.
Why would you not?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a while. I booked the odd kids party in recent times. And I remember halls being, typically 50 quid. It's my youngest's birthday next month. And admittedly, there is some functionality to this. There is an art teacher comes with this party we're booking for 6 kids. Do you know what the quote was?
£250.
350 quid.
Wow.
What's happened? The party game's gone. People go on about people not partying anymore. It's because you're getting charged 350 quid to have 5 kids draw a stick man, or 50 quid to have a pint is now £2,000.
Can I make a suggestion what I would do? I would, at the night that goes ahead, ask them, because obviously you're going to be in that separate room, and I'm sure there will be a separate bar in there. Just ask them at the end of the night, how much have you taken from us and us alone? They'll be able to give you a figure. And then the next day, go into pub 1 and pub 2 that were expensive and say, hello, you quoted us this. We went to this place and paid this. And in total, we spent this. You could have had it. You didn't. I hope you go out of business.
Yeah, stick it, scumbags. It's an absolute disgrace. I'm furious. I mean, I thought your suggestion was going to be go down the offie, pick up 100 cans and 10 bottles of wine, and go to a bus stop.
I think if the third pub had come in with a similar quote, it might have been that.
Yeah. Get a Wi-Fi speaker going. That's always popular. Or a Bluetooth speaker, rather. Right, okay. I'm going to give booking parties an extortionate rate that charge. I know this is quite a niche review. 1 star.
It's really interesting. Tomorrow is my birthday, and for weeks now, I've been asked, what do you want to do for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday? I've not said a single thing. I feel like I've got to a stage where I'm just like, I'm cool. I'm cool. You know, maybe we'll go and have a nice brunch or something or other. I'm cool. It's fine. You say the party game's gone. I don't feel like I need to be doing something.
I actually, as you know, because you've participated, since I turned 40, I've organised a cricket game for my birthday. That's fun. I like doing that.
It's great fun, and I'm gutted that I can't play this year. To be clear to the listeners, I was invited. That is a revolutionary thing that you do every year for your birthday. I think you've hit upon something. I think the party game is declining.
If you want to go 10-pin bowling, if you want to go Laser Quest, I'm in.
Oh my God, I still love 10-pin bowling for birthday parties.
If you want to do a belated 10-pin bowling birthday, we can get burger and chips after.
Yes,
I'm in.
Can we play a little bit of air hockey on the table as well?
100%. 100%. Look, mate, I think we've got to make it happen.
Here's some more adverts.
Okay, it's time for the 299th review in the history of this show. What's it going to be?
The pressure's on you for the 300th on the Patreon. Amazon are finally bringing drone deliveries to the United Kingdom. This isn't something only for the States. Finally, trials are underway here, and it's happening in Darlington in County Durham, of all places. Amazon have rented out an Airbnb on a farmer's field. And they've taken it over to be doing their test runs there. Now, there's only limited items that you can buy from the Amazon drone place in Darlington. Everyday items that weigh less than 2 kilograms, and they're also only being delivered within a 7.5 mile radius as well. However, if you want batteries, new charging cable for your phone, or some beauty products, pens, papers, a chocolate bar, they will now be delivered around the Darlington area by drone.
That's fantastic. It's very exciting, slightly scary and potentially dystopian. Appropriate that it's Darlington, where I believe the first ever passenger railway service came from. So it's an innovative town.
Stockton to Darlington. That is where the first railway in the world. So this is. You are quite right to point out that Darlington has been at the forefront of other things. This is what the reality of a drone delivery is like. The drone will arrive at your house, and the stuff that you have ordered are dropped in a parcel. It's kind of like the size of a shoebox at a height of 12 foot onto your front garden.
How does it know that there's no one beneath where it's dropping?
Well, it'll have a pilot, won't it?
Oh, will it? So there'll be a guy in an Airbnb trying to pilot it.
Is that their launch? Yeah, drop, crash.
I guess there's got to be somewhere for all these retired Ukrainian drone pilots to go when they retire, isn't it?
I would have thought, in all seriousness, I would have thought they probably don't have a pilot. It's probably all AI.
Completely automated. Which makes me all the more worried all these random people are going to get, like, garroted or, donked by some random Amazon product just as they're walking up their own street.
Chris, look, you can say that. It is the future. Here's some stats for you. Obviously, drone deliveries in the States have been going on for a while now. The average delivery time for an Amazon drone in the United States is 36 minutes.
I don't know if that's good or bad. It's
a number. Brilliant. It's brilliant if you consider that now the quickest that you're going to get something will be tomorrow on Amazon Prime, which is still pretty quick. 36 minutes is amazing. In the trials at the moment in the UK, the average delivery time is within 2 hours, and that's still pretty good. An unmanned drone can drop off 100 parcels a day from the hub.
And how does that compare to your average every driver?
Well, go back to one of the previous 299 reviews on this, and all of the data for that is already existing on this podcast.
They're such an angry bunch. They're going to be furious with this.
They will be furious. It could be the thing that finishes off every /DPD. Transits will be disappearing from the pavements and curbs of the UK.
Well, I've got no idea. I think you're a fan of this, aren't you?
I'm a fan of all new technology. I love technology. One day I want technology to take over my job. It's fine. I am going to review this and give it a 5-star review. It is a hat trick of 5-star reviews for me on this glorious episode celebrating 50 episodes of Mildly Informed and the 300th separate review.
Do you want me to say something here, or was that the end?
That's not the end, because we have Patriots who subscribe to our Patreon, and that is the only people that will hear the 300th review. Because if you are listening to the version of the podcast that is available for free, we appreciate it, but you won't be hearing it. Become a Patreon and you hear extra stuff. Extra reviews every single week. You can comment, like all those people who also have been fined by the Blackwall Tunnel, by emailing us mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com, or on the socials at Producer Chris or at Richie Firth. And of course, you can comment on our YouTube channel in the comments if you've been watching this. Chris, let's hop over to Patreon and say the words together. 300.